Hi everyone, welcome back to Sunday League Champions League. Chris here, aka Big Will, and today we have two games for you. We face Southampton in the Premier League, and I'm going to show you a Europa League game today away against Olympiakos. Since you were last with us, we have seen some improvement, so at least we are getting somewhere. Um, we've had a majority of the games have been victories, to be honest. A 2-1 win away at Hibernian followed that Chelsea game last time out. A 2-0 draw away at Stoke was disappointing. We still have struggled to get results away from home. 2-1 at home to Norwich, 1-0 away at Karabag, 2-1 at home again to Burnley this time. 4-3 away at Sheffield Wednesday, and then a 1-0 defeat away in the Europa League against Freiburg. Um, we're not doing too badly in terms of the Europa League table. Obviously, having won our first four games, we're looking pretty reasonable in that. Premier League, we're sat in sixth place now. We do have games in hand now over everybody. Originally, it was the other way around, but we do now have games in hand. So we can close the gap on these teams above us and potentially either go ahead of some of them or be at least within touching distance if we can get some wins. I have changed a couple of bits tactically following that game against Freiburg as well. Nothing too major. It's largely just our out of possession tactic. So we're dropping players back a bit further. We kept the formation. Sorry, I will get the words out eventually. We kept the formation the same originally with the 4-3-3, but now I'm giving us a little bit extra defensive cover when we're out of possession, just to see if that stems the flow a little bit at the back. Donnarumma's been poor, to be quite honest, overall in goal. I have started to have a look for a keeper, but then straight after that, the board have cut funding. We're struggling financially. Of course, the lack of Champions League football is a major consideration for that, I would have said as well. So unfortunately, we've had the extra transfer budget and everything we had. All that's been cut now. It is a bit of a problem. So we've had wage budget reduced and our transfer budget has been completely slashed. We've ended up losing about £50 million worth of spending money. Um, but I'm hoping this defensive setup out of possession will help us a little bit in terms of just reducing the number of goals that we're conceding and allowing us to be a little bit more resilient at the back. In possession is still pretty much the same. It does seem to be working. We are scoring goals, as you've seen, obviously with the exception of that previous match against Freiburg. So going into the game today, it's a tough game against Southampton. They're playing quite well at the moment. Brumans is coming into the side, um, obviously because of Donnarumma's injury. Um, so we'll just have to see how he gets on, to be quite honest. We've got a really decent setup. Um, Obviously, in terms of player quality, we're not far off being some of the best players in the league, and that is obvious to see. But it's just a case of knuckling down and getting that confidence to continue. We've shown a lot of improvement. We're better than we started at the beginning of the season, but there is still work to do. And again, after a big win against Chelsea in the previous episode, I'm hoping for something similar today against Southampton. Obviously, big opportunity in goal for Brumans as well. His actual goalkeeping attributes side of things aren't as good as Donnarumma by quite a considerable margin, but he is still a good Premier League quality keeper, in my opinion. So hopefully we can go out there and get a job done today. We have been a lot better at home than we have away. It still continues to be the case. Um, but I am hoping that in dropping players back when we're out of possession, it will help us a little bit more as Gueye tries to get down the right hand side right from kickoff, but nothing comes from it. So, granted, going a little bit more defensive out of possession, it does encourage the opposition to come onto us a bit. But again, I am just hoping that we can literally just try and be a little bit more aggressive defensively and allow us to counter attack a little bit more. Stasin plays over the top, and Svetkovic is completely in behind, and Brumans is beaten. I mean, I don't know what happened there. I mean, we didn't even get back into any kind of shape. So much for being defensively stronger. I mean, I mean, I don't know what's happening here. I mean, I don't even know where Guay was or anything there, but there was no one in position at all. Sorry, Gvardiol or Petronoiu. I mean, neither of them were even remotely close to that. It's a shocking bit of defending. And we find ourselves behind very early, and that is not how we wanted to start the game. Um, I mean, clearly it's a counter-attacking mentality that they've got, with the way that they're set up. Hugo Larsson trying to get into the penalty area. Lays it back to Nico O'Reilly. Not a lot of support there. Papageorgiou forced backwards a bit by Nico, and he gets down the left-hand side, gets the cross in, and Haaland didn't try and challenge for that. Gueye gets back into the penalty area, cuts back, plays it to Sosa, and it's a good strike, but again, over the bar. And instead of cutting it back, I don't understand. Haaland, I mean, I know I keep saying it, but he's 6'4", 6'5". He's there in the centre of the box. He's aggressive with his heading ability as well. Why is he not being targeted in these situations? And it's probably because we've got inside forwards rather than wingers, to be fair. So it is my own fault in a sense, but again, a bit of common sense to be nice. O'Reilly down the line for Savinho. He manages to get there. It's a big error at the back, and Savinho has managed to score. I mean, a very, very strange goal for Southampton to concede. It's a good finish from our perspective. Poor goalkeeping. I mean, he didn't really cover his near post well there. Fisher got a touch on it. Savinho just put on the afterburners, managed to get in on it, and there's just no challenge, and it's an easy goal for him in the end. To be fair, he's been a standout performer, Savinho. He's done really, really well throughout the course of the season so far. Number of assists and goals. Haaland, one short of getting into double figures for the season. That's in all competitions, of course. He's been a little bit better in Europe, but he did bag a brace away at Sheffield Wednesday recently. So he is showing signs that he's getting back to his goal-scoring best. But again, we've conceded one shot at goal, and it's led to a goal. And it keeps happening like that, and it's a bit frustrating, really. And I'm not entirely sure what the answer is. I mean, I am looking for a new keeper, but of course, with the funding having been cut now, it could be a bit of a difficult situation for us. Here's Gueye now, coming down this right side, launches it forward. Haaland in behind, great control, easy finish for him. Gueye with the assist, and that is more like it. That's exactly what we're looking for. He's still got the pace, Haaland, and you can't give him that much space in that defence there. I mean, that is a huge amount of space for a world-class striker of Haaland's ability. And at last, you guys have seen him score a goal. So that's a good positive as well. But really good pass over the top from Gueye. And we take a deserved lead based on the match statistics here. One defensive error has cost us a goal. But it would appear, at least, we're not conceding too many chances. They've only had the one attempt at goal, which obviously, as I said, did lead to the goal. But we have been dominant other than that. And hopefully it will continue into this second half. This could be a really good win for us, by the way. Southampton are playing well at the moment. We'll tell the lads that we don't want to see any complacency. We want full concentration, full steam ahead. That is what we require from this game. And so far, it is what we're getting from them. But that, I mean, they've got three centre-backs there. I mean, Haaland just completely broke in that space. I think they just pushed a little bit too far out wide and left the space open for him, which definitely worked in our favour. Gvardiol, with a free kick, just passes it to O'Reilly. Got to be a little bit careful in possession. Obviously, when we've got possession at the back like this, if they just suddenly decide to press and we lose possession, it could be a very dangerous position to be in. As Hugo Larsson gets a strike away, and it's a comfortable save for Mandas in the Southampton goal. And again, obviously, I've said about getting signings and everything as well. Donnarumma is injured at the minute. As I mentioned before, we will need a new keeper to come in for him in time. As Larsson gets the cross in, and Cherki has produced a good save there from Mandas. And again, Cherki was at the far post there. Haaland was in the centre. It's just gone beyond him. But it remains 2-1. And again, it has been a good performance, but we do need a little bit more from the lads. That one goal lead is never enough in any game, especially in the Premier League. Good interception from Gueye. He's had a really good game today. Right wing back. Patronoiu into Gvardiol, showing a bit of time and space to run into. And Savinho turns his man really well, gets into a penalty area and fires it across goal. Couldn't get the right connection on the strike, and it goes wide. But the keeper, to be fair, he seemed quite confident it was going wide, and he left it completely alone, but very confident from the keeper, to be quite honest. But look at the match stats. We've only scored twice, 12 shots on target from 22 today. We have been by far the better team. And again, we're just not quite getting the goals to show for it at the moment, which, considering the quality we've got up front, you'd expect us to be scoring a few more goals from that number of chances. Here's Sosa into Gueye. He has got support in the penalty area. Can he get the cross in? lays it to Cherky, little back heel to Papageorgiou, gets the shot away, and it's another save from Mandas. Not the most convincing save, but it doesn't matter. He has kept it out. Quarter of an hour to go. Player fitness is actually looking quite reasonable, so I think we're going to leave it be for the moment. A number of really good performances today, and again at home we do seem to be a lot more comfortable than we do away. But again, it's only a 1-goal lead, and with 10 minutes to go, I'm a little bit nervous. Despite how we've dominated the match, it's not good enough from our perspective. We need to be doing a little bit more to get the goals that we deserve in games. And Stassin's in behind. And I mean, they had 3 players free there. I mean, Stassin luckily was offside, but again, something as simple as that can easily catch us out. But look at the number of attempts at goal. This game should be a complete write-off for Southampton right now. And yet, they are only 1 goal behind. We have been completely dominant. And in the end, we've scraped the 3 points as such based on the scoreline. It's a great result for us. Don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic performance as well. But looking at that, we should have easily hit 5 or 6 goals there. We'll tell the lads to keep everything tight. And of course, it gets to a point, and I've seen it happen before, you can end up with players getting complacent because they're used to winning all the time. They're used to being in the position that they're in. And we need to keep that out of the team. We need to really get the lads to focus in and really push things forward. Obviously, we've got Europa League next, which is why it's showing the Europa League table. We're sat in 4th place at the minute. With that defeat to Freiburg, of course, it's not really the best from our perspective. I did have a look at the teams that are in the Europa League. Obviously, we have been marked as favourites to win it. Inter Milan, arguably the next best team in there. But again, you've got some good French sides and a couple of Spanish sides in there. You've got Rennes, you've got Valencia, Lyon, who we've already beaten, of course, Leverkusen in Germany, PSV Eindhoven, West Ham will be one to look out for if they get through, AS Roma from Italy as well. And Nice have had a shocking start, incidentally, but they're doing well enough to get into the competition, of course. But you know, there's some good teams in there. But I'm looking at them with the team that we've got. We should be getting at the least very, very close to winning the competition. I've just noticed as well, Kroitz, who we brought in as our assistant manager, he was actually assistant manager before for a couple of years. So a familiar face coming back for us in that scenario. We've got a few days to get through until the Olympiakos game. Bear with me, we'll be back for that one. And hopefully we can pretty much secure our passage through to the next round of the Europa League. Okay, then here we go for the away day at Olympiakos. I'm hoping defensively we can keep things tight again, but we do need to be winning regularly away from home. Isla Magic wants to leave the club, as does Bagchi. Bagchi's just simply not settled in the area, so he wanted to be transfer listed, and therefore he is going to leave potentially. And Isla Magic, unfortunately, he has also expressed a desire to leave the club. He's not playing regularly, and he wants to go out on loan to secure a permanent move. In that situation, it's better to just let him go permanently. But honestly, he's going to be a long-term answer to like Gvardiol and Gueye and such as well. It's a bit of an annoying one, that one, unfortunately. We are going to rotate a couple of players, I think, today, maybe. I mean, natural fitness is good on the majority of players, but I mean, I'm looking at Isla Magic, I'm looking at Bagchi, they could play, to be honest. And obviously, we've got a lot of Premier League games to come. So I think we'll just leave it as is. We need to win the game today, realistically. We need to keep doing what we're doing in the Europa League. Obviously, the defeat to Freiburg is a bit of a step back for us, to be honest. It brought them up into contention for automatic progression to the round of 16. Obviously, we want to avoid the playoff places as well. That's something that is very important, especially considering all the fixture congestion. We'll tell the lads to carry on from the last game as well. We played really, really well, I thought, against Southampton. It was just unfortunate that we couldn't find the back of the net a little bit more often. As Haaland tries to play it over the top there, Savinho clearly not quite able to get to it. But if we keep playing like that, Obviously, defensively, we looked a lot more solid as well. But we just need to be a bit more convincing away from home. Obviously, the out of possession tactic we only changed after that Sheffield Wednesday game. After the Freiburg game. So I'm hoping away from home we might be a little bit better defensively now, and it will give us a bit of an opportunity to progress a bit more as Haaland gets a shot there and Alexandropoulos makes a good save. Savino looking for Cherky and they do manage to get it clear, but it should have been a goal for Haaland really. It's very rare that he'd miss from such a position, but 5 attempts on target in the opening quarter of an hour. If we keep this kind of form up today, it could end up being quite a big scoreline as long as we can break the deadlock. Here's Gueye. Needs support, finds Larson, back to Gueye again, gets past his man, gets the cross in. O'Reilly there at the far post, nods it back down for Savino. Papageorgiou to Cherky. He's been brought down in the area. Cabal just tripped him, basically. And I think, to be honest, it's down to frustration from Olympiakos there. They've clearly not seen a lot of the ball, and they've certainly not seen any chances. And Haaland with the chance to put us ahead. Obviously, if we do get secure in this first half, we'll make a few changes, give some of the rotational options game time as well in the second half. But we need to make sure we're comfortable from the get-go. And Haaland does convert from the spot. 4 goals in 5 games in the Europa League for him. And it would appear we're starting to settle into a bit of a rhythm. It'd be nice to see us win away from home as well, incidentally. It has been a struggle so far, but if we can get a good away win here, it would be quite nice. We've done all right in the Europa League, but seeing the out of possession tactic in effect is also quite encouraging, especially after that win against Southampton. But I mean, we're dominating proceedings. Possession's quite even, incidentally, but we are getting a lot, and I mean a lot of attempts at goal. And Olympiakos with their first chance here with Nascimento with a free kick here. Launches it into the penalty area toward that far post. Bowman's punches it clear. Johnson into Kotitsos. And Dodge into Johnson again, and the header goes over the bar. Not particularly convincing from Brumans there from the set piece, but we do survive it nonetheless. And again, we've had a lot of attempts on goal today, and we're not converting the majority of the chances. Kotitsos, into Cabal. Now Colas into Ndo. Zanidakis into Nascimento. Colas. Olympiakos just starting to get a foothold in the game, and Duvikas has managed to get in, and it's a good save that from Brumans. Again, we switch off defensively, and I mean, at 1-0, it's like the players think it's safe. Instead of really going all out, trying to convert these chances, 11 shots on target in this first half, and we've scored once. Very, very frustrating. We need a second goal for sure. Savino swinging it into that far post. And it's a good header. And Patranoiu finally takes effect from one of those set pieces. It's his first goal for the club. And the £100 million defender finally starts to repay some of that faith we've shown in him. We are doing far post corners, incidentally, at the moment. Patranoiu at 6'7", certainly a demand to aim at. Haaland was there at the back post as well. Very difficult for any defensive opposition, to be honest. And we finally have a goal to recognise the dominance we've had. It should be more, realistically, at the moment, but we just need to keep putting the pressure on and try and get that third goal now before half-time. Colas into Cabal. Olympiakos controlling the ball quite well here, straight from kick-off. They're looking to get back into this. And they've managed to break into the penalty area, and it's a good block by the defender, and it's out for a corner. But again, we're letting them in with opportunities, and we need to be a lot more clinical, I would say. Not only up front, but in defence as well at times. Here's Haidari, who's really broken into the team this season, incidentally. Savino into Haidari again. Can he get it into the penalty area? He gets past his man really easily, lays it across. It's on a plate for Haaland. And there is the third. And we deserve a scoreline like this, to be honest. And we will make those changes at half-time as well, because this game now is pretty much done. And it's going to be the most convincing away performance of the season by a mile. But it certainly seems to have helped changing that out of possession tactic, it would appear. A good brace that for Haaland in the first half. And realistically, he'll want me to leave him on because he's on a hat-trick, but I will take him off in the second half. So, lads, they're doing brilliantly, and we'll get straight into the tactics here. Gvardiol is looking a bit complacent, so we're going to get Bagchi on for an opportunity. I mean, Gvardiol's on a yellow card as well, incidentally. Isla Magic is going to come on for Papa Georgiou in defensive midfield. Vargas can come on for Haaland. And I've not really been playing Tillman, and he's a decent player, but he's not really screaming anything to me, to be honest. Foden will bring on the right for Cherki, and we'll get Doku on the left as well. Just have a complete change of the front three, couple of defensive options there as well. And yeah, we'll give them a run out and see how they get on. It'll be the first time you guys have seen a couple of these players as well, incidentally. Vargas, especially, who's signed for £69 million, has just not been able to break into the first team yet. Obviously, with a player of Haaland's calibre in front of him, it is quite difficult. Doku here with a corner, swinging it into that far post, and Bagchi was there. He's 6'6", incidentally, by the way. Vargas into Larson, back to Vargas, shoots from distance, good headed clearance from Macrodimos, and Vargas picks it up again. Poor pass, and Koutsias is in behind, and I mean, it's a great pass, and Brumans has done superbly to stand his ground there. Really good counter-attack that from Olympiakos. A little bit fortuitous the way it came about, but that was a big opportunity for them to have something to show from this game. But again, Brumans showing his worth in goal at the moment. Larson into Gueye, space to run into ahead of him if he can get past his man. He gets that space closed down a bit, mind. Hugo Larson into the penalty area. No challenge made. It took a massive deflection, but it is 4-0 on the hour mark. And we are heading for a very easy win here away in Greece. And I'm just happy to see us get a convincing win, to be honest. It's been a long time coming. We've had a couple of really good, important victories, but nothing as convincing as this. At 4-0, it is our biggest win of the season as things stand. And it'll be a big confidence boost to some of the players as well, I would suggest, just to see them get into a little bit of form. Gueye with the throw, plays it back to Patrinoiu. Into Gueye again. Tries to get past his man. Finds Larson. Back into Gueye. Larson again. Good exchange of passes between them. Foden looking for Vargas. Back to Foden. And he's managed to somehow squeeze that in at the keeper's closest post. It's 5-0 now. Phil Foden with his first goal of the season. We've not played him an awful lot. And to be honest, he is starting to decline a little bit based on his attributes and such. But it's nice to see him get a goal here. Hit first time. The keeper, I think he might have got a slight touch to it, but he seemed to be wrong-footed. And as I said before, we're overdue a cricket score win, and it looks like we're going to get one today. 18 shots on target we've had. Only a third, well, not even quite a third of them have been converted. Here's Tete, laying it back to Macrodimos. And now Johnson, back to Tete again. Good tackle from Gueye. Patrinoiu to Larson. Into Vargas. Jeremy Doku coming down straight through the centre of the pitch here, and he's shot from distance. And the keeper is not looking very convincing at all at the minute. He looks very short on confidence. And Doku firing over the bar. He's actually rating a 7.5 at the moment. He's conceded 5 goals, but of course he's made 13 saves when you incorporate everything into it. He's had a very, very good game. But he's not had a lot of help from the rest of his team. Foden whips it into that far post. In fact, it's ended up with Larson in the centre of the box. Didn't quite get enough onto that Foden, but almost ended up being number 6. I mean, we've completely battered them today. Good interception from Isla Magic, and now Vargas into Doku. Hugo Larson breaking through the centre. He's got Gueye in support on the right. Swung in first time, and Doku couldn't quite reach it. Heze managing to clear. Doku to O'Reilly. Back into Doku. Gets into the penalty area. Curls it. And it clips the outside of the post. I thought that was definitely going to be number 6 there when he cut in. But it remains 5-0. And it's a massive, like I say, it's a massive confidence boost, not just for the team, but for me as well, to see that we can start converting some of these chances. Doku tried to play it through for Vargas there. He couldn't quite get onto it. And again, some of the the players that we brought on, we have scored a goal since then, of course, but obviously they're trying to break into the team. It's quite difficult, to be honest, because we've got a settled starting 11 realistically. Some of the players that we are trying to bed into the squad, it's going to be quite difficult for them to break into the team. And I think they're almost trying too hard at times as well. Here is Foden, plays it into Hugo Larsson. Good control from him, plays it to Nico O'Reilly. He gets tripped up by Heza and only a foul given. No need to give him the booking. Foden with the free kick, launches it forward, and Larsson into Gueye, who's offside. He was miles offside, so Lemon Gueye there, and it will remain 5-0. Will it? Yeah. I mean, for a minute, I thought it was going to carry on and just the goal was given, but I did see the assistant raise his flag. I thought he was miles offside. Um, yeah, he was miles offside. I don't know why it had to go to VAR. It was a very obvious decision to be able to make that one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The game's won anyway, which is nice to see. And we managed to get some of what I would term as backup brigade now. We managed to give them some game time as well. And don't get me wrong, they've still got a lot of quality for sure. I mean, Foden, Doku, they're still top class players. Vargas as well. Eventually, he'll become a main player for us. Haydari picks it up here into Doku. He deserves a goal, to be honest. He's hit the bar this time. That's the second time he's hit the woodwork. Foden into Gueye. Now O'Reilly. Again, we recycle, and O'Reilly's shot is saved by Alexandropoulos. And I mean, Doku, to be fair, he's rated as 6.7 there, but he's looked really sharp after coming on. He's just not been able to get anything from it. But a really, really confidence boosting performance away from home. And we push ourselves further into contention for qualifying in the Europa League. We're actually sat top of the thing now. Hibernian sat in second and Celtic in fourth. So the Scottish clubs even doing really, really well at the moment. And yeah, really positive stuff from our perspective. We've got some tough games to come, as is any game in the Premier League, as I keep saying as well. But we can be really, really pleased with the progress now. And the team's starting to settle into a rhythm for us. In terms of upcoming fixtures, there is a lot to get through. There's 4 more Premier League games before January. But I'm looking at these fixtures here. There's FA Cup games. There's still Europa League ties. January is a very, very busy month. We've got 6 Premier League games plus at least 2 Cup games. I mean, a double away day is going to be looking like. It's rare I come back in January, but United and Arsenal away, it could very much determine how the season goes. We've got a couple of tough away games before that, but we've got 5 consecutive away games in January. So a tough run to come for sure. United and Arsenal to come in the next episode. Hopefully, in the meantime, we can continue to keep the pressure on and qualify for the Champions League. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It's all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.